Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.
Hello. Welcome to episode 122 of 15 Minutes of Bing Genius. We bring on really amazing entrepreneurs. We bring on investors. Just in our last episode, 121, we had Wayne Wu, who's just a legend in the private equity investment space. Awesome company, VMG Partners. So we just love to hear stories, hear their struggles, hear the ups, hear the downs, what's next for the brand, just really kind of digging very deep, peeling away the onion for the story for the entrepreneurs that are on the show. Big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark Enneman, HadbeatStudios.net. He's over there. He's behind wires and cameras and hard drives. I can barely even see him right now, but he's there. So thank you, man, for making a great show. Appreciate it. Well, I made the great show, but you're allowing me to show it. So just kidding. No, I really appreciate you, man. Love you. Thank you for making this a huge success with me. So super grateful. All right. Without further ado, our guest is Adams Chimera. So first name Adams, last name Chimera. Just wanted to make sure that's clear. And he is the founder of Rooted, and he's an aspiring environmentalist. A little bit about just him, just as a human being, and the company. He's on a mission to bring community, sustainability, and soul to the consumer packaged goods industry. Adams, how you doing, man?
Good to see you. How are you?
Doing very good, very good. All right, I love the ominous background. Let's see that, Mark. Like the ominous background where you're like, it's like kind of dorm room-ish. It's like kind of dark in the back, and then you're really bright. I love the look.
You know, it's just really dark outside right now, and the lighting that we have here. I got to get one of those like circle lights that everybody got during COVID. I just missed that memo.
Yeah, the selfie ring.
But yeah, exactly. But
right on. Yeah,
I
got
a
it on.
Makeshift thing that you guys can't see.
Yeah. Well, looks good. We can see you. That's the only thing that matters. So there could be whatever. There could be something hilarious or weird that happens in the background. We'll never see it. We can just see you. So that's all that matters.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff going on back there. It's entertaining.
Off camera, right? Off camera, off frame.
Of course.
All right. I will not ask what's going on. I don't want to pry into your personal life. This is already personal enough where I'm literally interviewing you at home after hours. So, okay, let's get into it. Kind of in a joking mood, but let's talk about the brand. Let's talk about what you do. We always start with what the product is. And this is a really fascinating product that's super unique that I've never seen before. So tell us a story about what the product is and how you created it. And this has been around for a year and a half, so relatively new as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, essentially it's two things. And one of the things that I still can't believe didn't exist before we came along was it's the first ever powder multivitamin for men and women, which, you know, when you look at the multivitamin market, 92% pills or gummies. And in the land of, you know, choice, that doesn't make any real sense. So we're giving people that long overdue third option in multivitamins. But the second thing we're the first ever multivitamin infused with a hydration powder. And our real mission is to get sugar out of supplements. 70% of Americans are trying to reduce sugar in their diets. It's something we talk about a lot. And I feel like us as a supplement industry really should be kind of leading that charge. And when you look at the sugar that's in specifically gummy multivitamins, in hydration powders a little bit, the reasons that they're in there, or sugar in particular, just doesn't really make sense to me.
So it's a product that, and it's all for men and women. It's powderized. Talk about the sourcing and ingredients. I'm on your LinkedIn. I can't believe we haven't connected on LinkedIn. Like when I was looking you up, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't connect with him.
Yeah.
We have 3 million mutual friends and contacts on LinkedIn. So tell us, I see a bunch of fruits and veggies and things surrounding the boxes. It sounds like this is just real stuff that's powderized.
Exactly, yeah. So my background, I've been in supplements for a while. I was with Rainbow Light, Natural Calm, and Clorox and their family of brands, if you're familiar with them. And when we made this, it was really, that soul piece that you mentioned is how do we make no sacrifice in an actual product that's good for people? And the challenge is with the powder, A, you got to get it to mix, and B, it has to taste good. So when we first started, it was, let's make the Cadillac or Tesla of all formulas out there. And luckily, we didn't have to whittle back too much to make it mix. It was a challenge. I think we went through probably 60 iterations, give or take. The flavor has been a little bit of a challenge, and we're on our third iteration, and I feel like we're in a good spot. But overall, from a ingredient standpoint, I would put this against really any other multivitamin, certainly hydration powder that's out there. We're kind of like a hydration powder on steroids.
Yeah, it's kind of like liquid IV meets, just like liquid IV meets Dr. Schultz. I think Dr. Schultz because you're in Southern California, where they use like real fruits and veggies, and they have more like supplement powders, not so much multivitamins. But it seems like you're just kind of mixing that too. You're getting the hydration and the vitamins. So let's get into the story about also the struggles, right? I like to also bring this up. You're a new entrepreneur. You've been doing this for a year and a half. What was the process on starting this? I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs, it's daunting, it's scary. You're going into, you kind of were in the corporate zone for a long time on your LinkedIn, Clorox. Now you're going off on your own. What did that feel like? How did you get that started? And then where did you get capital from? Was it self-funded or just from others?
Yeah, so actually we've been bootstrapped to date. Doing something on my own is something that I always wanted to do. So I think a lot of people, pay for houses or whatever, and that's amazing. For me, it was eventually I want to start my own company. It's just, do I have the confidence to do it and the resources? And I really felt like I had the confidence to do it. The ideas. We launched March of 2020, and if you remember, that was a really great time to launch.
It was great. It was great for online. Great for online.
Yeah, but I'm a big believer that you play in the sandbox that you know, and that's not a sandbox that I'm super comfortable in. So, Tacos, we launched with a launch partner, Sprouts, so we got in all 350 Sprouts locations,
That's
which
great.
was
Awesome,
amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. So like you launched in Sprouts. So are your strategy, right? Because I think about this, it's light, it's not perishable. People are buying more online. How much are you focusing online versus retail? Are you doing both and going headstrong on both? Are you focusing on more than the other? What's your strategy there?
Yeah, so our strategy right now is brick and mortar and Amazon. So we have Sprouts. We just launched with Whole Foods nationally about 3 weeks ago.
Wow, amazing!
So
it's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
A year and a
Super
half.
exciting.
Those brands that take 5 years to get into Whole Foods Global.
Yeah, the buyers are really supportive. They believed in the idea. They saw the gap that we saw. And the one thing that I would say we're doing different is we're not going down that D2C rabbit hole yet because of everything that's going on there. It's something that we stumbled on. And honestly, we beat ourselves up about it because, especially when you talk to a lot of investors, it's kind of like if you're not doing D2C well, then you're not really a brand. But we've figured out ways to win with Amazon, and we're shifting to some new pack sizes and stuff like that to make sure we can win.
Got it. Okay. Cut out a little bit, but I heard most of that. I think a lot of people in your place are watching Netflix or Hulu right now, but I got like 90% of it. So yeah, so Amazon. So just, part of this show is also, and what I love about, discussing is other entrepreneurs are watching. They probably have similar, if they have a similar product to like a powderized, supplement or something like that. What is the strategy? So why Amazon and why not build your own brand on your website, right? Like why are you focusing on Amazon? It's a bigger platform, more customers, but you don't own the customer. So why did you choose that strategy?
Yeah, so a couple of reasons. One, 70% of all online searches start with Amazon, right? So that's one kind of big reason. But two, just from an economics perspective, our customer acquisition cost when we were doing the D2C thing was around $60 versus Amazon, which we were anywhere between $5 to $15, depending on the keyword.
Right.
So that, as a bootstrap brand, $60 was unsustainable. That price was much more sustainable. Also, I've worked with Amazon since 2005-ish. So I have a pretty intimate knowledge of kind of how to win there. And Amazon will reward you for driving traffic to them. So how do you become part of that? When someone starts their search with Amazon, how do you pop up right there on the top? That's really our goal. So we can drive traffic to Amazon, but also win from the traffic that's already there.
Got it. I'm actually looking at it right now on Amazon. I'm just pulling it up on my phone. I promise I'm not on TikTok watching someone dance in front of a stadium or something.
It's okay if
but
you're on TikTok.
yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm trying to mute. Mark, can you please mute my mic? So, yeah, so this is interesting. So one thing that I'll at least point out, just learning as I'm hearing you speak, is that the one thing that I get just from a common sense standpoint is that people that go on Amazon are there to shop, right? Like they go to Amazon for product discovery. It's a destination. So the CAC, or the customer acquisition cost, is lower. But for online, like it's higher because these are people searching and they're not necessarily looking to buy. They're just on Google or they're on Facebook, and it's a lot harder to get that customer in when they're not really there to shop. They're just there to surf the net or do something else or check email. So that's pretty much, does that kind of sum up, without getting too complicated, why the CAC was so high for D2C?
I think so, yeah. And I think it was part in, going back to that play in the sandbox, the D2C sandbox was not one that we knew. And it was right in the middle of all this iOS 14 changes. And, I've heard some things about AT&T. So
can you explain that for those that don't know? Sorry to interrupt, but the iOS, I know it's fascinating, a little sarcasm there, but tell us, what was that issue for all the D2C brands that are out there?
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same. I feel like I have this conversation all the time about how to get around it. But essentially, it's when people opt out for of allowing Facebook to track them across apps with iOS, basically changed it so that Apple changed it so that when you open up an app, you have to say, yes, I want this app to track me, or no, I don't. Previously, it just automatically tracked you, and you had to go in your settings to actually change it. When that happened, Facebook lost all its data, it lost all its ability to, do lookalike audiences, it seems. And again, I'm not an expert on this, but we saw our customer acquisition costs go through the roof. And going back to the Amazon, when we drove traffic to Amazon versus driving traffic to our own website using the same ads, we saw a better conversion rate. So it was another reason we chose the Amazon. And I will say, depending on when you're watching this out there in the world, our Amazon's going through a refocus. So, if you're watching this in February 22, then our Amazon will look much better than it does now. But it's a crazy world.
Got it. I could sense in your voice just how excited you were talking about this. You're like, and then the Facebook thing, and I got a lot of deep breaths happen. So I'm gonna do you a favor and move off that subject to something more fun. What is next for the brand, right? Let's get invigorated again. So you're building on Amazon. What are you projecting in 2022 to kind of put you on the hot seat? What's your split, online versus retail? Where is it going with this brand?
Yeah, so right now we're 35% online, and the rest through brick and mortar. I project that to get up in the 45 online, 55, so pretty much an even split.
Yep,
we're going to put a lot of focus into Whole Foods. We're winning at Sprouts. We're growing at 200% there. So really happy with the performance. Buyers are happy. So now it's a question of how do we take that same formula, bring it to Whole Foods, and then we're really, getting after the independents now. We're partnering with KD already.
Rapid fire question.
All right, we're going into it early. Let's do this. Should we roll it? No. So we should keep that in there because that was hilarious. All right, so rare technical error by someone. All right, so that's how we do rapid fire questions. It's that rapid. You don't even know it's coming.
I like it.
Keep going. So Sprouts, you're up 200%. I think we lost our train of thought on that one. Most people would, but continue, sir.
The goal was, so we'd spent a year learning at Sprouts, do we have the right product? What's the right ways to win our velocity? So take that same learning, apply it to Sprouts, and let's try to learn some more at some independents. Let's grow our velocity. For me, I'd much rather do $1 million in 1,000 stores than $1 million in 2,000 stores, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
How do we get that velocity up? And then we can go after, the bigger players and, Targets, Walmarts down the road. But let's really make sure that we have something before we go out there.
Exactly. Yeah, I think a really, really sound strategy. And I'm looking at your product right now, like zooming in on the images. It's so cool. The packaging's freaking awesome. And then, in
Thank
your
you.
background, which we don't have time to talk too much about it, but the fact that, I guess just maybe a minute, like working in other companies where you learned about supplements, you learned about vitamins. What did you get from those previous experiences? Was it formulation and nutrients and macros, and what helped you from your past to form this product and brand?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of everything, right? So, pretty much my whole background did it, but specifically to supplements. I also led the private label supplements for the company.
Oh, no
So we
way.
partnered with, yeah, so we partnered with a bunch of retailers, but the big one was mass retailer T. Uh, and we did 34 SKUs into all their locations. The average supplement time frame is 15 months. They said, that's great. We need it in 12. So the super stressful, 12 months of
34
figuring out how to
SKUs.
get this 34 SKUs in this big corporate giant machine where private label is kind of the, black sheep that no one really wants to put resources to.
Right.
Um, ultimately we got all 34 SKUs out the door in that process. I learned the regulatory kind of how to build a supplement brand from this idea on paper to actually getting on shelf. Ultimately, that program failed and they discontinued it, but still probably one of the greater learning experiences in my life, and a lot of hair clogging up my shower I noticed during that program. So
Well, from what I can see, the hair has grown back. And
yeah,
maybe starting
thank
your
you.
own business, it's nerve wracking, but at least you're the one that controls your fate and your future, and you don't have someone else
Totally.
like saying, "Hey, you got to do 34 SKUs in freaking 12 months." So I would think
12
like,
months. Yeah.
and that's what goes through my head. I'm like, there's days that I get stressed out. Same with you, right? Just running a business, it's going to happen. It's unavoidable. But I think the stress of running your own company long term is far less than working for someone else.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not really an angry person at all, but I just find that since I've left, like, A, I make a lot less money, which I don't think people understand, but B, uh, I'm just like, I'm not angry anymore because the only person I get angry at, is myself if things aren't going right. So um, it's really, a brighter side over here despite all the, long nights and stress and everything that comes with it.
Exactly. Like
I'm
it's
sure you could understand. Yeah.
totally can. Yeah, usually it's if there is anger, it's at myself, but I come home, every day. Like some days I'm totally gone. Like I'm just like I pass out through the door and my wife's like, "Man, okay, I'm not going to see this guy till the weekend." Um, but the main thing is I come home fulfilled. Like, or when I'm finished work at
Yeah.
home and I finish in the office, just meetings, I feel fulfilled. Like I feel like this was a
Hmm.
great day. I did a lot. I made a big impact on our organization, and then and then even more importantly, a big impact to others, to other consumers, to other retailers, to online, to get this product in people's lives so they feel better, right? They feel healthier and
Hmm.
happier. And like all those things combined, controlling your fate, building a business, seeing it grow from a baby to hopefully eventually an adult, plus impacting people's lives that buy the product is like, to me, that's the nuts. In poker, that's like the best hand you can get.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. The super users that we have, I'm sure same for you, the ones that just keep on buying over and over again. They're my
Absolutely.
favorite people to talk to. And it's just when you're having a bad day, just you're doing it for them. And there's more people like that out there. Let's just go find them.
Exactly, man. Exactly. There's a legion of people that are following Rooted, and that legion is growing day by day. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
now we can go into, and there's a warning now, rapid fire questions. Rapid fire questions. Are we going to leave the edit in? We should just leave it in because we're talking about it. Like if we don't leave that
I
edit
feel like
in,
we
then
have
when I'm
to
talking
now.
about this, they won't know what we're talking about. So we got to leave it
Yeah,
in.
or just make people confused.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be consistent from beginning to end. All right, so a bunch of questions. You'll give me a bunch of answers. Just boom, 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 under a minute. You ready?
Let's do it.
First question. For music, which decade is the best, the 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I mean, 80s was such a epic decade for music and style, so I got to go 80s.
Exactly. I think I remember from Family Guy. I think it was the 90s, actually. Forget it. This is a stupid Family Guy reference. I'm not even going to get into that. What do you do for exercise?
Pretty much. So Peloton, I'm a big runner. That's actually one of the things that got me to start Rooted was I was trying to get sugar out of my diet. So it's like, why is there so much sugar in these gummy multivitamins? So running, Peloton, I golf. I love the snowboard. I try to stay pretty active.
Cool. We separate conversation, but we got to go golfing. I love golfing. I'm new to it. I'm like 7 months in. I think I finally found my stride, like literally.
You live too far away though, man. That's the only problem.
It's way too far.
I know. It's just 2.5 miles. No way.
Yeah, it's got to be feet, not miles, to get together. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Los Verdes, have you ever golfed there in Palos Verdes?
I'm actually golfing there tomorrow. Yeah, it's crazy to get a tee time there, but my buddy figured out a good way to get them. So yeah, we're going out there tomorrow.
Right on, man. Well, reach out anytime, man. Well, not anytime, but usually back 9 on the weekends. In the morning, I love to go just from like 6:30 to 9. So cool, man. It's in my calendar already for tomorrow. I'm just kidding. All right, so movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
You know what? Actually, Moneyball. There's something about that movie that
I just saw that.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, like not to like steal your thunder, but I will. But I watched it when it first came out in the theater. And then literally 3 weeks ago, I'm just like, it's on Hulu, I believe. And I'm just going to watch it again. And I watched the whole thing, and it was amazing. Like the part, like where Brad Pitt's like, and I know this is totally, no one else who hasn't seen this movie would understand this, but he was like, that's why we're trying to get people on base. They have to have an average of, and then like, and then Jonah Hill's like, oh, you want me to talk? And Brad Pitt's like, when I do this, you talk.
Yeah, I feel like Jonah Hill. That's like he's amazing too.
Classic Jonah Hill. He's like confused and nervous.
Mm-hmm,
All right, chocolate or vanilla?
I mean, out of that two, vanilla. But I'm boring, dude. I like plain yogurt. I actually really enjoy the taste of plain yogurt. So,
Me too.
But if I had to choose, vanilla.
Right on. Forager, plain yogurt. Shout out.
See, I'm Chobani. I actually use the Chobani, like why I choose Chobani as like this kind of story about the consumer journey of entering a store. And but I do have Fage or Faye, however you pronounce it, in my fridge now because they were out. But
yeah, Chobani has an amazing story. Like, I watched it on TED about when he opened up the yogurt creamery in New York and bank loan and no money left. Yeah, that another story, another day. Favorite country to travel to?
I'd say anywhere in Latin, South America, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, those areas. Cool. Just really enjoy that whole place.
Next question. Favorite Star Wars character of all time?
So do you remember that movie? I don't know his name, but Rogue One. It was kind of like one of the offshoot Star Wars, and there was the kind of sassy robot. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking
the
about,
one like the tall guy, right? The tall robot.
Yeah, the tall one, and she like accidentally shoots the robot, and it's like, was that supposed to be me, or what if that was me? It's like, oh, I knew it wasn't you.
Yeah. There's like Star Wars has it down where they make the robots have so much character, right? Like R2-D2 was a freaking. It looks like a trash can that rotates.
Yep.
And they were able to bring emotion and like personality to him. Like whenever something bad happened, he would go. Like it's brilliant what they do with droids in Star Wars, and then they make billions of dollars selling Star Wars figures. All right, what is your spirit animal?
I guess an otter.
An otter. I've not heard that one.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Do you like to drive an SUV, a coupe, or a truck?
So I am on the list for a Cybertruck, and
hell yeah.
One of the money motivators, I try not to think about money with the brands, but it's like, okay, if we can do X and hit this number, then once that Cybertruck is available, I am all about it.
Right on.
I'm a huge Elon Musk nerd.
Oh yeah, same here. And you can fit plenty of golf clubs in the back of that Cybertruck, so it's a win-win. All right, so
exactly.
For food, salty or sweet?
I mean, I'm on the anti-sugar crusade, so I got to go salty.
Right on.
But actually, bitter.
Bitter.
You know,
It's
IPAs.
another taste.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
IPAs.
no salt,
Yeah.
no sugar, just bitter. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Favorite day of the week and why? A couple more left here.
Actually, Wednesday. There's something about Wednesdays that I'm super productive.
Right on.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
kind of
because
like
we're right in the middle of the week, and
momentum,
yeah.
momentum,
Hmm.
and like not just trying to not easing off the gas pedal or the electric Cybertruck pedal on Thursday or Friday. Because like end of the week, some people like to ease off. Wednesday, it's like full bore. Very cool.
Yeah.
Uber or Lyft?
Uh, 9 times out of 10 Lyft.
LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Kobe?
I mean, I grew up with Kobe, man. So
Kobe
Kobe
all the
is,
way.
yeah, Kobe Shaq. There's no better combo.
Love watching them, man. I actually saw Kobe when he just got traded to the Lakers in a exhibition game against Team China in Long Beach. It was crazy.
Really?
He was
That's
17
awesome.
years old, like a huge fro, and he was like dunking
Yeah,
over
yeah.
like,
Back in the day when he was like way out here. Yeah,
yep,
or not way out
dunking
there, but
over
like here.
Chinese guys. He scored like 45 points in the game, and my dad's like, "Watch that guy, he's going to be a star." And then like,
Yeah.
all right,
Unblockable fadeaway.
yeah, unblockable fadeaway. Terminator 1 or Terminator 2?
Um, I actually don't remember the difference between the two. It's
One's
my
better.
only
One's
memory
better than the
to
other. That's the difference.
yeah. I guess one. Yeah. I remember as a kid trying to sneak down because my parents were watching it. One of them. So
Probably
I don't know.
Terminator 2. It came out in the 90s. Yeah.
Could be.
That's my favorite, but they're both excellent. Favorite food or
Mhm.
drink if you're stuck on a deserted island? You cannot say Genius Juice, and you cannot say Rooted.
um, I've been getting into kombucha lately. I guess. I'm
Okay.
really kind of
Kombucha.
boring, man. Water, sparkling water.
There you go. All right.
Yeah,
So
plain
sparkling
yogurt and
water.
sparkling water.
Yeah, exactly. Cool, dude. Well, that is rapid fire questions with where's the applause? There it is. Delayed applause.
No more zooming.
Nice. Keep it going. A little more. There we go. Standing
Okay.
ovation. All right. So, Adam Chimera, episode 122. Thank you, man, for joining us on the show. Thanks for sharing your story, and congrats on just all the progress you've made. It's amazing. Whole Foods National, Sprouts National, Amazon. I think you're on to really, really good things here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And same to you. It's really fun to watch your journey and keep it up. Let's go get it.
Absolutely. Let's win together. All right. So that is our guest, Adam Chimera. He is the founder of Rooted. Make sure to go to Amazon. It's ROOTD to buy it now. Maybe when this episode airs, we can have some kind of coupon code on there. We'll see. So I'll reach out to him about that. So again, it's in the books. Big plug to Mark Nicholas, mark@habitstudios.net. Fire Eating Desires. Here it is. Everything you need to know. Email, website, phone number, has it all. So again, thank you for joining us on episode 122. And one last thing, stay rooted and genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.